जय भीम, जय मुल्लीवासी, जय संविधान, जय भारत. मैं अल्पेश यादव from MNT News Network. Uh, Welcome all of our MNT News Network subscribers and who are watching this live telecast from MNT News Network. Today we are going to discuss very interesting topic, and I believe you haven't seen this topic in another channel. The topic is how Brahmins subsumed Buddhist culture in Brahmin religion. The speaker is Mania SS Dhammy, who is National Vice President of PPID. So let's discuss this interesting topic. Sir, welcome you on MNT News
Yeah.
Network.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
As I told earlier that it is a very interesting topic we are discussing today, and I believe you haven't heard this topic on any other news channel. So, sir, I believe this is really a very interesting topic we have taken on MNT News Network, and we are thankful for you that you are coming for this special discussion on Brahmin religion and Buddhist culture. So we have just want to know the background behind this topic. What do you think? What is the Buddhist culture and what is the Brahmin religion? Just give us some brief idea about the same, sir.
That is okay. Thank you, Ulpesh. And thank you, MNT News Network. See, the background of the selection of the topic for discussion
Yes,
or
sir.
for just having an examination of a particular problem being faced by many people, intellectual class, non-intellectual class, and gullible masses. That is for the channel to explain. But I can say that this is a challenging this behavior of the MNT News Network. That such a this we can say most ignored area of discussing on historical aspect of cultural change or change in faiths and various beliefs, various social traditions or social cultures. That is always something which no channel wants to discuss about that, because that you have to be honest enough, as there are this chain of historians who have studied this aspect of the social history. So there is a conflict, and in most of the cases there is no uniformity of approach and uniformity of inferences, uniformity of conclusions on various aspects involved in this topic. But having accepting the challenge, that is the MNT News Network is thankful for this. The purpose of this topic, as I can presume, maybe that there is some this dual thought on various cultural festivals among Mulnivasis, particularly Ambedkarites or others also, whether they are Ambedkarites or not, but those who are fighting against Aryan philosophy or Aryan ideology or Aryan this social system, cultural system, and all that. So they all are divided whether they should celebrate something, whether they should follow something, whether they should believe something, whether they should have faith or following on something or not. So that is this dilemma always going on in the society. So that is why this is a very challenging subject we are going to deal with today, with the help of literature that we have in our hand, created by Baba Sahib Ambedkar, particularly this is specific this question can be answered only with the help of this seventh volume, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Writings and Species. Now, this volume covers who were the Sudras, how they came to be the fourth Varna in the Indo-Aryan society, and then the untouchables, who were they and why they became untouchables. So these are two works of Babasaheb Ambedkar, and they mention everything about Aryans and non-Aryans and the social history of India. He has counted so many authors, historians and sociologists and all that. So we can answer this question with the help of Babasaheb Ambedkar's findings. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, we are thankful for your brief introduction about this topic and the basic idea about this topic. So basically, sir, we are saying that the Brahmin religion is almost the against to the Buddhist culture. We see, if we can see, the Brahmin religion is nothing but the inequality among the people of India, basically, if we consider, because it is basically propagated in India in a vast way. So our point is that will subsuming Buddhist culture by Brahmins makes Brahmin religion better, or what is the positive and negative impacts on the society of India? Can you explain this point, sir?
Right. This culture is nothing but the behavior of the people, social, economical, or developmental symptoms of the society based on certain faiths, beliefs, or we can say religion. So, if we see the ancient literature of Brahmins, be it Rig Veda or other Vedas, Baba Sahib says that Aryans were not a homogeneous people. Religiously, they were, or we can say culturally, they were two groups. One who were Rigvedic Aryans, or Rigvedic religious followers, or Rigvedic cultural followers, and the other were Samvedic followers. So these were two kinds of Aryans. Now, one believed in, say, this, we can say, this Vedic rituals like these yajnas and yajna. So they were Rigvedic Aryans. The others not believed in yags but other forms of cultures. So they were Samvedi Aryans. So Aryans themselves were not homogeneous people on culture front. So there is no question of having a uniform culture all over the subcontinent that time, or we can say this area, or this country, whether today or ancient country that time. So there was no question of Aryan having a similar culture or one culture to be adopted by the people under them or living here. Now, Baba Sahib says that up to 12th century AD, this land was mostly ruled by Naga kings. And since ancient period, it was between Nagas and Aryans. Now, we know this Maurya dynasty. The Maurya dynasty organized the people from one corner to another in the entire subcontinent, Indian subcontinent. And the cultural developments mostly were focused by the Mauryan dynasty. We see the cultural history or social history. Then a new society came up based on Buddha's these gospel. So based on those doctrines, a new society came up with new culture, because Aryans, they did not reverend cow, but Buddhist people, they rather revered this cow, because cow and its office, these children, we can say, or ox and all that, they were used in agriculture. So the cow was revered by Buddhist only, but Aryans didn't revere the cow. So there was direct conflict between Buddhism and Brahminism. Now, after Aryan Maurya dynasty, for a longer time, the Brahmins, during that period, most of the Brahmins, they were converted to Buddhism. Only a few were left. But after counter-revolution by Pushmitra Sunga, then those who were left and wanted to re-establish their supremacy over Buddhism, now they started revenging against Buddhism. So they started, but by that time, Baba Sahib says that there was a time when majority of people, they became Buddhist. Majority means you can say about 95% people, they became Buddhist. So it means uh, even after all efforts and struggles, Brahmins were not in a position to bring the people who were following various cultural these festivals or customs, traditions by that time, to the fold of Brahminism by force. So as you can see today also, even British remained for a long time, or Mughals and Muslims ruled for a longer time, but all the cultures, in the majority of the people, today we call them as Hindus or like that, it has remained. So the same, if you consider for those times, then it was not possible for Brahmins to impose anything by force on Buddhist people. So what was the strategy left for Brahmins to re-establish their supremacy? Because most of the Brahmins, they embraced Buddhism. And as you know, or if you don't know, then one should know that these 75% of Bhikshu Sangh members, means Bhikshus in the Bhikshu Sangh, they were from Brahmins. So, and Buddha also adopted this strategy to target Brahmins, because there were a big renowned ashrams conducted by Brahmins. Brahmins were a missionary force, missionary community, missionary human these resources. So these people, being missionary people, they were master of publicizing, propagating any idea, any thought. So that was the success of Buddha, that he brought maximum Brahmins to his fold in the Bhikshu Sangh. So that is why this Bhikshu Sangh is spread so speedily during his lifetime itself, and is spread in almost entire subcontinent, Indian subcontinent. So Brahmins who were left during Pushmit Sunga's time, they wanted to establish supremacy over Buddhism. So this they tried uh, the force politically. They tried ideologically. They were hated even by the lowest of the lower classes, poor classes people. They did not regard Brahmins as good people. But because they ate cows, they killed cows for their food, and their rituals, there's yajnas or yajnas, we can say, they were based on sacrifice, cow sacrifice. So people who adopted Buddhism, they started rearing cow and all those animals who were used in agriculture. They hated Brahmins. They did not regard Brahmins as good people. So Brahmins were hated upon by majority of the people. And these, if you see the festivals all over the country, you will say, you will see that these are the festivals based on cropping pattern. You start from Kanyakumari in different states of south, then you go to northeastern states, then you go to Punjab, you go to northern states, hilly states, western part, northwestern part, central India. You go to different regions, you will find these festivals, various cultures, various rituals, all are based on agriculture. And agriculture produce are offered, whether it is a marriage or any other thing. So it means basically these are agriculture based festivals and cultural these activities. Uh, Language may be different. Kerala, it may be different language. Name may be different also according to language of the particular region or state. But if you see the basics of these festivals, say today, if you see the Holi, what is Holi? You see, it is completely an agriculture seasonal festival. And so is the case with the Diwali, so is the case with Pongal, so is the case with the Lodi of Punjab area or Himachal area. In that region, whether it is in Pakistan or in India, but the festival is the same, Lodi is the same. And if you go to Pongal and all these festivals, go to northeastern state also, different states are having different festivals, but they are all cropping season based festivals. So it is all very conclusive that all these festivals, they are creation of farming people, and farming people flourished or progressed during the Buddhist empires, this Maurya dynasty all over the country, as we know. These Nagas, as I said, Bhavasava said that even up to 12th century, Nagas kings were ruling different parts of the country. And Nagas were against Aryans. Nagas were non-Aryan race, and they had their own culture or religion or ideology different from Aryans. So this Naga versus Aryans and Buddhism versus Brahminism, this fight, this brought Brahmins to the bottom in regard of respect as a human being, and in other parts in this political field also, they were not given good positions or higher positions by the kings, empires, and king courts, and didn't have Brahmins in their courts. So the Brahmins were very much anxious. The fundamentalist Brahmins under the leadership of Pushmitra Sangha, as we know, Sumati Bhargav created another law that is called Manu Smriti. And after that, this cultural change was tried by Brahmins, but they couldn't succeed. So they subsumed Buddhist culture by just imitating the Buddhist these traditions, cultures created and adopted by the people by that time. And they were all, the majority was engaged in agriculture field. So these are all, if you see, this is the reason that these festivals are, or these cultural activities are agriculture based people. So this is
So,
how now now Baba
so
Sahib
in
says on this issue. I will take up other question. Now, Baba Sahib, as a result of the spread of Buddhism, the Brahmins had lost all power and privilege, prestige at the royal court and among the people. They were smarting under the defeat they had suffered at the hands of Buddhism and were making all possible efforts to regain their power and prestige. Buddhism had made so deep an impression on the minds of the masses and had taken such a hold of them that it was absolutely impossible for the Brahmins to fight the Buddhists except by accepting their ways and means and practicing the Buddhist creed in its extreme form. So, as you see, beef eating or killing or meat eating, we can say Brahmins left even not only beef eating but meat eating also, just to win over the Buddhist people, to get the support of the masses, so that their supremacy can be re-established. And then Baba Sahib says, after the death of Buddha, his followers started setting up the images of the Buddha and building stupas. So this makes clear that idol worshipping was started by Buddhist people after the parinirvana of Buddha. The Brahmins followed it. Brahmins followed it. They, in their turn, built temples and installed in them images of Shiva, Vishnu, and Ram, and Krishna, etc. All with the object of drawing away the crowd that was attracted by the image worship of Buddha. So this makes very clear how Brahmins, they subsumed Buddhist culture. They started idol worshipping. They started idol building, temples building, which was not their culture. They were people of this organizing various kinds of yajnas, and different tribes, different yags in their own way. So there was no temple before this no, subsuming of Buddhist culture. So just to defeat Buddhism, they adopted or imitated the Buddhist culture, and then they might have used some force, some political force, but not that much. That is how temples and images which had no place in Brahminism came into Hinduism. The Buddhists rejected the Brahminic religion, which consisted of yajna and animal sacrifice, particularly of the cow. The objection to the sacrifice of the cow had taken a stronghold of the minds of the masses. Again, this is word used, masses, especially as they were an agricultural population. And the cow was a very useful animal. The Brahmins, in all probability, had come to be hated as the killer of cows in the same way as the guest had come to be hated as Gona, Guna, as we see today, we call it Guna, the killer of the cow by the householder, because whenever he means Brahmin came, a cow had to be killed in his honor. That being the case, the Brahmins could do nothing to improve their position against the Buddhists except by giving up the yajna as a form of worship and the sacrifice of the cow. So this is accepting Buddhist ways and means. That was the only possible way before the Brahmins to become supreme among the masses, or to create faith for them among the hearts of masses. So this is what Baba Sahib has concluded, or collected the material from different sources, different historians, and all that. Yes.
So, sir, what is the impact of this consumption by the Brahmins of Buddhist culture into Brahmin religion? What was the effect to the Buddhist culture? And now, how this Buddhist culture or society to be safeguarded against this submersion? It is continuously going on also right now also.
See, this second part may be very difficult within this short time. Now, we can see the impact on Buddhist religion or Buddhism by subsuming or subsumption of Buddhist culture by Brahmins, and stamping it as their own, this religion, as Baba Sahib had said. Now, this what happened that uh, this uh, we can say this led to a spread of Brahmins supremacy. These Brahmins were again regarded by the masses as the supreme people, religious people, who were regarded most with all the highest rights and privileges and prestige to them. And Buddhist, as we know, that the great sacrifices of monks, Buddhist monks, campaign was conducted by Pushmitra Sunga during his, or Sunga dynasty entire whole, and continued till Gupta Kal, Gupta dynasty. So this led to fleeing of Buddhist people, Buddhist monks. We can say the missionary Buddhist people, they almost vanished from this Indian land, and uh, they went in other parts of the subcontinent and in the world also. So they this left this impact that Buddhism almost disappeared from India, or this country, or we can say from Indian subcontinent. And this all happened because those who were to be responsible for existence of Buddhism, they went with the Brahmins, just because Brahmins adopted all the practices of Buddhist idol people. So it was worshipping cow. They started worshipping cow, which was not there. They ate cow, and they started building temples and idol worship, Shiva, Ram, and all that they created. So in this way, they subsumed Buddhist culture of idol worship and revering the cows. So giving a respect to cow was very much a decisive factor for agricultural community. So that is why these Brahmins, they could convince the masses that okay, come, we are also doing the same. We are going far further ahead of Buddhist people. Now we don't eat meat, we don't kill cow, and rather we are worshipping cow. So all these festivals, cultural activities which were being done by masses or agricultural communities, as it was the masses means the agricultural communities, or those who were working on the agricultural land, because that was the real mass. So they all uh, accepted Brahmins, and Brahmins then could be able to say this culture or festivals and all that of their creation or Hinduism. Though it has nothing to do with them, and it was not their culture at all at any point of time in the history. So this is how this led to this disappearance of Buddhist culture in India, that due to this strategy adopted by Brahmins.
So I think we have now almost reached at our end now. So just we want to have your concluding remarks on this subject and the special message to our viewers that how they know our culture basically instead of the Brahmin Sanskriti, which is now we are Sanskritized most of the Indian people, basically the Mulnivasi people. So just give you brief your message as a concluding remarks, sir. Yes, sir.
See, we have to remove very these confusions created by Brahmins regarding culture of India, ancient history, and all that. And for that purpose, we have to read Baba Sahib's literature, and literature written by our historians, whether they belong to OBC or ST or even somewhere these Kaisthas and Vaisyas historians, they are also at some places they are honest enough in explaining the things, in examining the facts and information available, whether it is anthropology or other branches of the history. So that is all available, and we have to study and separate truth from the confusion created by this. See, the Brahmins' strategy since ancient period, these fundamentalist Brahmins, they conspire to create confusion about a thing which is not there. If it is not there and it is better or best, they will create confusion about that, and then they will say that this is our proprietary right and we have created it. So first they create confusion. As you can see, today they are creating confusion about constitution, and this independence movement, about Baba Sahib also, and social system, ideology also. Sometimes say something that Hindu is no religion, Hindu is no society, Hindu is no community, Hindu is no culture. So now they are on this side again. So this happened in the past also. So that is their most practiced strategy: create confusion and then declare it their own. So that we have to be very cautious about this, and we must go to the facts from the literature, and that we can take to the people. We can speak, we can make part of our speeches what is the fact from Baba Sahib's literature, because nobody can challenge Baba Sahib, because Baba Sahib has studied all the this history books of different historians, whether they are Europeans or they are Indians or others. So that we have to do, and then we have to remove this cloud of confusions from the minds of the people, so that the real thing can be taught to the people, and then they can see that what is there and what they should protect and practice. Yeah.
Okay, sir. We thank you for your time and you have given us the brief idea about this how Brahmins subsumed Buddhist culture in Brahmin religion and making aware our people about the same, and you have tried to remove the confusion. Hope we understand that our people, this is a very vast subject and require very much thoughtful discussion on the same. Just giving just one lecture is not enough to understand this topic. So we will again come with the similar kind of topics again, and we will discuss this in more detail. So till now, Jai Bhim, Jai Mulnivasi, Jai Samvidan, Jai Bharat. Thank
Jai
you,
Bhim,
sir,
Jai
for
Mulnivasi, and thank you very much for inviting me for this subject. Though I am not expert of this subject, but with the help of Baba Sahib's own literature, only we can examine these problems involved in such topics. So thank you very much again, and thank you
Thank you, sir.
viewers for watching me. Okay, thank you.